What's up YouTube, I'm Mike. Today I'm back finally with an update video. I have not made a video in like 12 days. It's been quite a while. So today I'm going to give you kind of a progress update, talk about what's going on with my cycle, what's going on with me psychologically, and why I have not been making videos for the past 12 days. So for the past 12 days since I left you, I have been in kind of a back and forth between cutting and maintenance. I quit. I got my morning weight down to a low of 196.8 and sort of panicked. That was the lowest my body weight had been in a very long time. I can't remember if I mentioned this in my last video or if I talked about it on Instagram. And so that was basically like a 17-pound cut in 6 weeks. I did post a short video saying I cut 17 pounds in 6 weeks, and I was really feeling the effects of that in the gym, and honestly I was really feeling the effects of it in life in general. To go from eating like 3,800 calories a day, I think I was down to like 2,000 or maybe less on some days. I mentioned in one of my videos that sometimes some of the days, in order to keep my calories down, basically the only carbs I was getting in the day were Dr. Pepper. Here's your sip. So I decided to kind of put the cut on pause, and I did that for about a week, and I didn't jump into like crazy eating because I wasn't even on MK. So if I'm not taking MK, I naturally will just not eat very many calories. And so my body weight went back up slightly, so when I stopped my cut, I was weighing in right around 200 pounds in the evening, and the highest it rebounded back to during that like attempt at not cutting was like 205 one night. Most of the nights it was hovering around like 202.8, 203. I think that was primarily just additional food in my colon. Maybe the increase in carbs pulled a little bit more water or glycogen into the system, but there was really absolutely no visible change in my abs in the early going. Toward the end of that week off, I did feel like while my weight had gone up very slightly, I did feel like my abs looked kind of filmy. Like they just weren't quite as detailed as they had been when I was really restricting the carbohydrates. So my wife and I had a long talk about this because I actually talked her into going on a mini cut with me. We haven't done any sexy photos in a long time, and sometimes when I take pictures of her, she doesn't like it because, you know, most of the pictures that we have out there on various places, she has really detailed abs because she was on Anavar. She had low estrogen at the time, and she was taking a little T, I think, in most of those photos. And that look that she had in her midsection, she's basically never been able to recreate. We have been debating whether or not it's even recreatable, because when we took those pictures a couple years ago, was before we started managing her estrogen. Her estrogen was very, very low. And so obviously if you have low estrogen, you're going to be carrying a very limited amount of body water, and that is very visible in the abdomen region. And so what I kind of wanted to do with her, I know I'm kind of getting off the topic here, but what I kind of wanted to do with her is, since she's on the Primo, get her to cut and see how close her abs would get to the Anavar low estrogen look with Primo and a healthy dose of estrogen in her system. Her estrogen right now, it should be somewhere between 70 and 100 picograms. I think she bumped it up slightly. I think she was like peaking at around 68 and dropping to around 54, and we decided that was too low. Although since we've increased it, there has not been really an improvement in some measurable things. So we may need to take a look at that. But nevertheless, we both decided to go kind of on a mini cut together, and then we ended up going out of town to visit her family. I won't get into the details of that in this video, but we both started losing weight again. So I got back down to 196.8, 197 in the AM. And how much weight did you lose?
4 pounds in 7 days.
She lost 4 pounds in 7 days. So again, don't mishear me. I'm not saying she lost 4 pounds of body weight in a week. The weight on the scale went down 4 pounds. That can be from food in the colon, from water, from a lot of different things. She almost certainly did not lose 4 pounds of body fat. I'm also not saying that I lost 17 pounds of body fat in 6 weeks. I'm just telling you what my total weight reduction was. So right now, I think she and I really, I don't know, do you still feel like you're actually cutting, or are you kind of in the middle?
I'm still cutting, but just not as deeply as I was.
Yeah, so we're both like kind of like the thing of it is that there really isn't really a maintenance for us. The problem for us is that neither of us like to eat. So if we're not actively trying to gain weight, we'll really just kind of eat in like a bare maintenance or like a slight deficit is usually what happens. It'll kind of just be like a fluctuation where one day we might kind of binge a little and eat kind of dirty, and then the next day we'll be in a big deficit. And so our body weight never really starts to net up unless we're actively trying to gain weight. We just get distracted and doing too many things. It's just easy to miss meals when you are sort of an ectomorph type of body style, or you could call it like a high energy, high anxiety, high neuroses kind of mental state. So that's where we've both been at. We have not shot the pictures yet. Hopefully those will be coming soon. So I'm curious to see where her abs lie. I posted pictures last night because I'm probably at the leanest I'm going to be, which is what I'm getting ready to get into in a second in this video. But that's basically what's been going on as far as the weight and training goes. My doses, where I have been at on my dosing protocol until recently. So for the vast majority of the 12 days that I've been away from the camera, I was running 12 milligrams of Tren Ace per day, and I was running 300 milligrams of Deca per week, along with 500 milligrams of Masteron per week. About a week ago, I bumped the Masteron up to 600 milligrams a week, and I bumped the Tren up to 14 milligrams per day, which comes out to what? What's 7 times 14? 84?
That's 12, so 98.
98. So for the last like 4 days or so, I have been effectively injecting 98 milligrams of Tren Ace per day. That's where the anabolics have been. The other side of this coin, and what I think serves the reason for why I have not been making videos, honestly, in the past 12 days, is because my estrogen is dialed in to some kind of a level. I don't know exactly what that level is because I haven't got it tested yet. I would say that I'm probably right in the middle of the range. I might be getting to high normal. I've been having some minor teary issues. I think my wife would disagree with me, but I think she's gonna be wrong when I do in fact get my estrogen checked, which is probably gonna be tomorrow. Tomorrow is gonna be a really interesting day. My TRT clinic they've been like freaking out because I've had all these variations in my blood work recently because all the experimenting I've been doing. So they're sending me back to the lab again to pull a testosterone level, I think a blood count, CBC with differential platelet, and an E2 level. So last time they pulled this, my testosterone was greater than 1500 and my estrogen was like 60 or something. It was way outside of the range. When they pull it now, we're gonna see some really interesting data because I am on 0 testosterone. I have been on 0 testosterone for over a month now. I don't know if I could see from my content when exactly that started. It doesn't really matter. It's been over a month. Yeah, September 7th. So it looks like about September 7th is when I pulled the plug on my testosterone injections. Today is October the 30th. So when they pull this lab, they should see estrogen in the range and like next to 0 testosterone. The only testosterone that should be available in my system is whatever 500 IUs of HCG 3 times per week produces. I suspect that that's going to be a very, very small amount of testosterone. So it's going to be exciting to see exactly what that number is. I mean, like, I'm expecting like 20 or something, maybe. I don't even know what it's going to be. So I don't know what my TRT clinic is going to do when their job is to supply you with testosterone replacement therapy. They won't leave me the hell alone, and they keep going and pulling blood work. And so their doctor is going to get a lab result that's going to show my estrogen is normal and my testosterone is totally crashed into the toilet. It may not even read this low. I don't know. On the high end, it maxes out at 1500. I don't know how sensitive it is on the low end. So it may come back with no T at all, depending.
Women really low.
What's that?
It reads women really low.
I mean, assuming that's the same test, yeah. I mean, it reads women low. So I don't know. They're gonna freak out. So I'm actually excited because I'm not having to pay for this blood work. So we're gonna get and usually when the doctor pulls it for some reason, like if the doctor sends me to LabCorp and I order my own LabCorp test and we both pull an estrogen panel, the doctor pulled panel will be back in like 24 to 48 hours. Mine will take like 7 days, which is bullshit. But that's what happens. So we should have some data pretty quick to find out exactly what is going on in my body hormone-wise. When you have no testosterone injections, I should be technically shut down except for the absence of the HCG, and we're gonna find out what 0.15 milligrams of estradiol valerate every other day produces as far as an E2 goes. So I have 300 milligrams of nandrolone decanoate that is aromatizing. I've got some HCG that's aromatizing, and then I'm adding 0.15 milligrams of E2 valerate every other day. And so I'm looking for a number somewhere between, say, 25 and 35 is what I hope to see on the paper. It's going to be great because somebody in the last video said that they can hear me inhaling. One of the reasons you can hear me inhaling is because I can now breathe through my nose. Unfortunately, I have massive nose hair problems. I have massive hair problems in general. So that noise you hear is me inhaling through my lungs all of this air through a forest of nose hair. I can't do anything about that. I don't know. I've got trimmers. It doesn't work. So deal with it. I listened to the video and I admit it was annoying to hear myself constantly breathing through my nose. So I'll try to breathe through my fucking mouth for you guys. So anyway, so it's going to be exciting to get this data because from my perspective, I have never been more stable psychologically than I have been over the past month. Now, my wife is in there getting ready to throw a fit, I'm sure, because from her perspective, I'm guessing that I do not appear to be substantially more psychologically stable. From her perspective, we've had some massive fights. We had another near divorce situation, maybe since the last time I made a video. There's been it's not like our house has suddenly become some place of peace. That is not the case. All I can report to you on is what it feels like inside of my head. The thing is that my volatile personality really honestly does not have anything to do with steroids. I have been crazy volatile my entire life. I've showed you guys some of the old forbidden fruit videos where I was on absolutely no gear, weighed 140 pounds soaking wet. I was incredibly volatile then. The thing that I'm finding out, or I think that I found out, that causes the most discomfort inside of my own head is estrogen fluctuations. That seems to be the factor that causes the most psychological torment for me, because this period of time where I have had no estrogen fluctuations, where my estradiol level the difference in my peak and trough is about 2 to 4 picograms tops. Because I'm injecting every 2 days, I'm getting a really flat amount of estrogen in my system. And so while I have all of these other things going on, the trend is definitely there. I've got a decent amount of masteron, which I'm going to get to in a minute. I can still snap at the absolute drop of a dime. In a lot of ways, I feel like I have a greater capacity for violence now than before when I was running testosterone. The difference is that with stable estrogen levels, I just feel substantially more controlled in everything that I do. It feels way more cold and calculating. While my wife and I have had fights, I think that the way that I'm fighting is different than it would be historically. I am much quicker to just go, fine, don't care, done, don't want to talk about it. Like, I'm not trying to drag this shit out. And for me, it's kind of gotten to a place where I don't want to fight at all. It's just like, take it or leave it. Like, let's just solve the problem or fucking get divorced. No in between. I'm tired of the cat fighting. I'm tired of like the posturing and and all the BS. And that's kind of become the way I feel about everything in life. I feel like I'm not flailing as much as I used to. I feel like emotionally, I feel like I'm in much better control of my emotions. Now, this may also be, however, this could be a fallacy of causation correlation going on here, because I have been admittedly intentionally focusing on a lot of my mental game lately. I told you guys before, I've been journaling. I've been working on myself as a person. I've been spending like a lot of time every day working on myself as a person and trying to weed out any signs and symptoms that I see of personal insecurities, of self-doubt, self-loathing. And I've been listening to a lot of Jordan Peterson's in my head all the time. Andrew Tate is in my head all the time. There's this amazing female. She's not really a psychologist because she's not. She's more like a coach. Her name is Sadia Khan. I know I'm going to get 400 people in the comment section. They're going to hate all of this woman. I absolutely love this woman and almost every single thing that comes out of her mouth. I think she has got the pulse of the human animal down pat. She explains a lot about what it is to be a high-value man and a high-value woman. She does a really good job of breaking down the psychology of people, why they do the things they do, why they treat their partners the way they treat them, why, if you're a guy who's constantly getting cheated on, she can tell you exactly why you're getting cheated on. There's a lot of interesting data out there put forth by Sadia Khan that you guys should definitely check out if you haven't done that already. And it's putting me in a much different mental state. And one of the things that I've noticed that I think has led to the reduction in video production is that I don't have the same need anymore for people to tell me how good I look or how funny I am. I don't need like the feedback from other people the way I think that I did in a different part of my life. A lot of people on YouTube, I think half the motivation for doing YouTube is that you're seeking attention. That's the whole thing. Like, how many clicks, how many views, how many comments did I get? How many people agreed with me? How many people told me I look good? How many people, that's what we're all chasing in the world, is the adoration of other people. And what I'm starting to find out is like the more complete you become as a person, when you actually start getting rid of your real insecurities and your real self-doubt, when you start to really become complete as a person, you don't need other people's opinions as much. Like, I don't need other people to tell me how great my body looks. I know how good it looks, and I'm secure in that. And I think that for like the vast majority of my YouTube channel, my mental state was kind of I think I look good. Now I need somebody to validate me. I need to make a video. And I think I have something figured out about how this works. Now I need all of you guys to tell me I'm right. And I've kind of gotten to the point where it's like, I know I'm right. I've done the testing enough to know. Like, I've done the experimentation enough to know. I have trialed Trenbolone and I've gotten liver checks. I've trialed Masteron and Primo and gotten my E2 checked. I know how all of these drugs work in my body, and I don't even feel the need to argue it anymore. I know I'm right, and I'm just good with that. I don't need anybody else to validate me or make me feel like, to be my fanboy or whatever. And so when you get to that state where you're no longer seeking attention, sitting down in front of the camera just doesn't really make any sense. Like I said in the beginning, that I wanted my YouTube channel to be kind of like my therapy, where I could like sit here and I could talk about all the things I'm thinking and feeling. And I found myself more often than not rather than making a video, just grabbing my journal and just like writing a few thoughts and a few notes and then putting it away and then coming back to it myself later, because then it's just me. It's not me sitting in front of a camera and then getting caught up in the back and forth with a whole bunch of morons in the comments that are just trolling or never gonna understand, or they didn't watch all of my videos and they're just making a pot shot comment. Like, I'm just basically, honestly, I'm really getting to the point where I just don't value anybody else's point of view at all. I don't even value the adoration anymore. I just don't need it. And so I don't know what that means, honestly, for going forward. I don't know, like, I don't know. Like, obviously there's money involved in it, and it's not, you know, it's a small amount, but like, I can pay my car payment basically every month off YouTube. And so it's like, I don't really want to just give that up, but at the same time, I just honestly have not been motivated to make content, because I'm not, usually I make content and then I'm immediately in the comments and I'm wanting to see what the response is and how well it's received, and I'm tracking analytics. And dude, I just, like, at this point now, it's like I'm so happy and confident and stable in my own person that I would rather just hang out with my wife and kids. Like, I don't need to do this for the same reasons anymore. So there you have it. That's why I haven't been making content. Who knows? Maybe this is just another, like, one of those, like, little moods. Like, I go up and down all the time. Maybe this is just another blip in the radar. And then, you know, in a couple weeks, when I'm back on cycle, I'll be making foaming at the mouth content again. I'm not saying one way or the other. I'm just saying I think that is why I have not been motivated to make content recently. So, as for what's going forward, some of you probably guessed it. I feel like I have been off cycle for a long time now. The truth of the matter is, though, that for the last, like, almost 2 months now, I've been running anywhere between, like, 700 milligrams to a gram of gear per week in what I kind of have been, like, thinking of as like an off period. I am currently on a gram of gear and I feel like I'm on TRT. Like, that's how the gear has like, that's just where I'm at psychologically. A gram at this point in my life just feels like the baseline. And so I'm ready to really crank things up again. And what I'm considering doing is jacking my doses up again and slowly increasing my calories, but trying to stay away from all of the carbs that I'm generally eating and really maximize my protein intake, and then just gently lift the carbs until I start seeing some positive gains on the scale. And I know everybody's gonna say, this is a fool's errand. You cannot bulk without getting fat. I managed to bulk without getting fat year round. Like, year round in every one of my, if you follow me on Instagram, you will never see a pose down video where you cannot see every one of my 6 abs perfectly visibly. The problem is that when I start bulking, the reason I maintain 6-pack abs year round is because, for whatever genetic reason, my body does not jump to putting fat on my abdomen. The fat builds up in my love handles, on my lower back, in my ass, and in my legs. For some reason, I carry body weight, honestly, more like a woman. I don't know if that has been due to the fact that I have had high estrogen a lot for the past year and a half, but when I start putting on body weight, I don't really ever get the beer gut look that most men get. So I can put on 15 pounds of body weight and have it not be clean weight and still have 6 visible abs, because it's all hidden in my love handles, in my upper ass, and my lower back. And so basically the vast majority of what you guys see in the camera and in these pose down pictures, you would never be able to tell. If you look at my abs, at what they look like on YouTube or like in my shorts, or if you look at Instagram, if you go back to when I was 215 and you compare that, my ab look to 197, like, my abs definitely look cleaner and sharper at 197 than they do at 215. but it's not like a humongous difference. Like, you have to really look, and you'll notice that my V taper is substantially greater, and I'm cleaner in here. But unless I get to the side, or unless you happen to live in my house and know that I can now comfortably wear size 32 pants, and when I'm 215, I can barely fit in 34s, that's the difference. Like, the difference, for whatever reason, goes to my ass and legs and lower back. And so that's actually been kind of frustrating when I started cutting, because I thought I was going to get this really grainy, peeled midsection, and I lost a lot of weight and only had a minor visible difference in what I was really focusing on. I still love the look. I don't want to go back to where I was at. I want to try to build the fairy tale muscle, get another, 10 pounds, 5 pounds of contractile tissue while staying lean and cut in the midsection, and it's probably not going to happen. But what I am planning on doing, what I did today, because I'm running short on this video, is I jacked my Tren dose back up. So I'm pinning 20 milligrams of Tren Ace per day, which puts me at 140 milligrams per week. My Masteron has gone up to 600 milligrams. It's probably going to go up again in 4 weeks. So right now I'm at 300 milligrams of Deca, 600 milligrams of Masteron, and 140 milligrams of Trenbolone acetate. If I am able to control this amount of Tren Ace with stable estrogen, then during this blast, whatever you call it, I'm going to, for the first time ever, run 300 milligrams of Tren Ace. That is what I am targeting right now. My wife just signed the divorce papers, I think, as I said that. So I'm targeting 300 milligrams of Tren Ace, even if I can only run it for a short period of time before I start to go completely insane, which is what I suspect is going to happen. It's also worth noting that I have not, during this entire period, been taking any Caber. I did take one dose a few days ago because I have had gyno problems at this dosage of estrogen. It's just constantly there. It does not grow. It does not go completely away. And it's sensitive almost constantly. It's not big and puffy and visible, but it's there. And I'm testing the Caber to see if it'll make it go away. So D-game has been very solid, at least according to my wife. She said last night that the D-game had been absolutely solid. I still feel like it is not where I want it to be. I still do not feel like I have porn star D-game, which to me is a total failure, which is one of the reasons that I'm jacking the androgens up, is because I'm trying to get back to that unreal state of D-game. And so I'm going to try to target possibly a gram of Masteron, 300 milligrams of Tren Ace, 300 milligrams of Nandrolone, and if my liver doesn't fall out, 50 milligrams of Anadrol per day. That's the plan. I don't know if I'll even get there. I will tell you that I am happy enough with my current body composition that if any of these changes start to negatively affect me mentally, or my family, or my relationship with my wife, then I'm going to pull the plug on it. I'm absolutely at a point in my life where I am so happy with the way that I look. If this is as big as I ever get, I will take it to the bank. That's where I'm at right now. We'll see what can happen. I could feel totally different tomorrow. I could quit the entire game tomorrow. You never know. I'm coming up on the 29-minute mark. I do have something that I'm going to make another video about. If anybody out there has used Deus Chem as a source, I have now got a discount code from Deus Chem, and they are a source in every sense of the word. If anybody has used this product and has any positive feedback, please give it to me, because I don't want to plug them until I have some feedback. I may do it anyway, but I might be working with Deus Chem in the days and weeks to come, because they have tried to partner with me. I'm afraid they're one of these people who've partnered with everybody. But give me some feedback if you know anything about Deus Chem, and I'll try to keep the videos coming more frequently to give you updates. That's where we're at right now. I can tell my dinner's ready. So as always, thank you for watching. We'll see you on the next one.